What's up? What's up? What's up? Good morning. It's the Blacksmith Podcast, back with our financially savvy Saturdays. I'm gonna get it down. I'm gonna get it down. I'm gonna something is gonna hit. Financially savvy Saturdays. I don't know. This guy's going nuts. Like I just told him before we started, on a scale of 1 to DMX, he is all the way at DMX. Today, we're going to do something a little different. We're not starting with a funny video. We're going to get right to business because RVI, Robinhood Ventures Fund I, the index fund they created, has a bunch of companies in it. And look, they have this very nifty, showing my age with nifty, playlist that is Meet the CEOs of Robinhood or of RVI, we might as well say. And there's going to be more because there's more companies than that. So we are going to start with the CEO, Zack Jhang, if I'm saying that right, of Air Wallet X.
Hi, I'm Jack Jhang, the CEO and co-founder of Air Wallets. Air Wallets is a global payments and financial platform that enable modern businesses to grow beyond borders. We're building the future of global banking that enable our customers with a more real-time, borderless, and intelligent banking and financial solutions worldwide. A decade ago, me and my co-founder started a coffee startup in Melbourne, and we had a lot of issues paying international suppliers globally, experienced high foreign exchange fees, slow delivery time, and a lot of friction in the compliance of cross-border payments. So we decided to fix the global payments issue to make money flow at the same speed as data.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right here. Let's talk about it. So they will tell you, scratch that, not they. If you've ever seen the animated film Robots, there is a the hero in that movie is the CEO kind of guy. His name is Big Well, and he always says about invention, see a need, fill a need. So if you ever get a chance to watch this movie, it's not like the best thing I've ever seen, but this is it right here. So the guy named Big Weld in this movie says, see a need, fill a need. And basically, other people have said it in a different way. Invention comes from there being a need for something. So this guy said him and his buddy were already doing something. Notice they were already moving, right? So they started up a coffee shop, I think he said, in Canada, I think is what he said. And what the need they had was for money. They couldn't get international money back and forth. So they wanted money to flow as fast as the speed of data. The same way I can hit Google on the browser and type in what it do and hit enter, and you have a page pop up in less than 5 seconds. They wanted money to move that fast. So let's hear the rest of it. But just understand that there was a need, and he created something that's filling the need. So there's a use case. There's obviously a market, which is international, right? And there's a need for it.
I think looking forward for the next decade, we really wanted to leveraging the technology of AI to build a full vertical integrated financial operating system to not only allow our customer to managing and banking and finance globally, but also more importantly, to deploy AI agent to automating that manual work away for businesses. Air Wallets is very excited to partner with Robinhood Venture and really look forward to build something more exciting in the next decade.
I'm excited that Air Wallet is in Robinhood Venture because you know what? You can't invest in them right now if you're not an accredited investor. And though I might be the Blacksmith Podcast and we do mostly everything financial over here, I'm not an accredited investor. I know, shocker, I'm not. I'm like the 99% of everybody who is not a qualified accredited investor. My net worth is not at least $1 million, excluding my lovely, luxurious home. And I do not earn $200,000 a year uh, yet for 2 years, going on my third year. Actually, I'm married, so it'd have to be 300,000 for me. Uh, Not yet, not yet, but we're gonna get there. We Discord, y'all hear what I'm saying? We are gonna get there. But that's one of the CEOs in RVI. Now we're gonna meet the other ones too, and I'm super excited for this one here at the bottom. Open AI CEO Ali Godsey. I don't know, but I don't know. No, this ain't open AI. This opening private AI invested. So this he's on Databricks. Databricks. I want the CEO of OpenAI. I'm sure he's gonna have one too. There is a video I did with the CFO of Robinhood interviewing the CFO of OpenAI. So if you haven't seen that, go ahead and look on the in the channel in the playlist. I have that one up, a reaction to that. Also, what is new here on the Blacksmith Podcast? You might be wondering, is there any innovation going on here? Well, yes. I'm glad you asked. In fact, the Blacksmith Podcast, we have a new playlist here if you are not aware. And it's been going crazy. Let me see. Hold on. Let me go to studio. I actually wasn't going to share this, but I might as well, right? Content and shorts. No, it'd be playlist. So this one right here, Moto Life. So this is the playlist I have that has all of my. No, no, no. Don't play that. This is the playlist here that I have all of my motorcycle. Oh, shoot. Man, appreciate that. I appreciate that, chat. Y'all just been listening to me. I didn't know that. Well, YouTube on the playback, YouTube will see it, but now you guys can see it. I'm so sorry. I always check this little screen right here to see if y'all can see what I see, because as soon as you click out of it, it goes black. I don't like it, but it happens.
Very nice words, but happens to be wrong. Wrong.
Lord have mercy. But anyway, so on Moto Life, this is where I have all of my motorcycle videos. I recently purchased a Yamaha MT-07. If you're into motorcycles, you can go there and look at some of those. I show how to DIY, do it yourself, cleaning the chain, relubricating the chain. I did my first break-in oil change on there. I tightened the chain, all kinds of stuff. There's some fun videos there. All right, so moving on, we are going to go to the health tip of the week. All right, so the health tip of the week. I just Googled it, right? And AI is saying prioritize your mental health. So mental health, we talk about mental health. I think it's the most talked about health on planet Earth in America, at least in 2026. I said on planet Earth, but in America in 2026, I think this is the most talked about. Get this off of the screen. Kind of health there is. So this week's focus on is emotional well-being. Mental health requires the same attention as physical health. Prioritize sleep, physical movement, and stay connected with people you trust. If stress or anxiety affect your daily routine, consider consulting a counselor or doctor. Okay, I don't know where they pulled that from. Now, here's going to be the blacksmith's take on this, right? I do definitely agree with mental health and trying to improve your mental health. But notice what they said. Prioritize sleep. How many of us get enough sleep? Throw that in the comments. And I mean enough for what's prescribed, 7 to 8 hours a night. How many of us get that? Raise your hand. You can do it in the chat. I don't see anything yet. So you know what? I don't get enough sleep. So they're saying if your mental health is not okay, prioritize getting enough sleep. Physical movement. Now, when we talk about physical movement, that could be walking um, around your neighborhood, that could be walking on a treadmill, it could be walking up and down your stairs, it could be it could be, what do you call those stretchy bands and whatnot. It could be doing non-weighted squats, pull-ups. It could be exercise, something prolonged to get you moving. Because whether people like exercise or not, it does release some good endorphins, some dopamine and whatnot. And then stay connected with people you trust. The only iffy part of this to me, it says if stress or anxiety affect your daily routine, consider consulting a counselor or doctor. Now, people, I'm all for improving mental health. I just don't think this is going to help much because the first thing a doctor or counselor is probably going to tell you, and I'm not one of them, so I'm not going to call myself Dr. Bryant. There's already somebody out there doing that who is on the balance beam being called a fraud. I won't be the second, allegedly. But the first thing they're probably going to do is ask you your daily routine. And then they're going to ask you if something stresses you out in your daily routine. And when you say, yeah, this, you know what they're going to say? Change your daily routine. Cut that person out of your daily routine. If you can avoid them, avoid them. So I would think if stress or anxiety affect your daily routine, consider cut off what they said, consider changing your daily routine, cutting that person out of your daily routine, changing something in your daily routine, something like that. All right, now other wellness tips. Let's get through these. Drink at least 8 glasses of water a day and keep your cells working and energy levels high. By Felicia. Oh, Lord have mercy. Who is Felicia? Tell me. So I do not drink enough water. I will say that. I do not drink 8 glasses of water a day. I do not. Um, Movement, stand up and stretch every hour or aim for 30 minutes or cardio most days of the week. Um, I think that's a good one. Stand up and stretch every hour, especially if you have a sedentary job like this. If you work in any of the humanities or you're a supervisor working at a desk, yeah, you need to move your body. I mean, like I said before, you could stand up and stretch every hour. You could hit some push-ups every 30 minutes. You could squat every 30 minutes. You could do stuff like that if you would like. I think we have a lot of medical issues in our society ever since we so civilized the world to where we technology abounds. So technology, computers. So now we're sitting instead of walking around lifting stuff and picking it up, putting it down. It's not bad. It's just different. So, and then prevention, take time for routine medical checkups. I think that one's quite evident. Fast to not get fat. Oh, so this is one that my brother is doing. Um, he said to me that he has lost, I believe, about 30 pounds, and he did it. Now, he did kick up his physical, but he did it mostly by skipping a meal. Skipping 2 meals, actually, is what I believe he said. He said when he wakes up, he does everything he normally would do, but he only eats dinner. Now that's a far cry from what some people would agree to do. I didn't tell him to do that. Let me open the chest. So I didn't tell him to do that. But man, that's some intermittent. Lord have mercy. Treasure chest. Zelda. Uh, so I didn't tell him to do that. He actually dropped that on me last week. And I was actually impressed and shocked at the same time. Shocked because wow, but you could say it sounds extreme, but he also got extreme results too, 30 pounds. And I notice a lot of times it would be someone who's quite corpulent who would say, well, that's too much. That's extreme. You could this or that from that. And it's like, well, little effort in, little result out. I don't know what to tell you. He's lost 30 pounds. So I haven't seen what he looks like, but 30 pounds, that's quite a big difference. We got somebody else in here in Discord who's lost, what is he down? I can't remember. He's down at least 30. I want to say from last year, it's like 50 pounds. So y'all keep it going. If you lost some weight or gained some muscle and you want to share, throw it in chat. YouTube, throw it in the comments. But we are going to move on to our next segment. Moving right along. See, I'm doing these chapters for you guys. I hope they're actually working. If you think they're working and you actually go on YouTube and watch them, throw it in the comments. But we're gonna move on to market movers. Yes, yes, yes. The moment you've all been waiting for. The market movers. So if you down 20 pounds, hey, congratulations. Congratulations. And because this isn't him, we're gonna hit a hold on. Where's the hand clap? There we go. There we go. Good job. Good job. Keep it going. All right, so we're gonna move on to the market movers. Now, one you might have heard some crazy news about was Dum Dale. All right, so Dell right now is trading at $420.50. If you look yesterday, they went up 32% in 24 hours. That is $104.05. 32.82%. Enough said. But over the past week, they've gone up $119, almost 40%. Over the past month, they've doubled. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Over the past 3 months, 186%. Year to date, 227. 1 year, 273. 5 years, 746. And max, I typically don't do this. I did this before the show. That's why I knew it was all green. 3,700% since the beginning of the company, which started 2 years prior to me being born, 1984. So Dell has really picked it up. And you can see here over the past week on the 28th is when they skyrocketed. What's new with Dell? That is exactly what we're going to talk about. I'm glad you asked. See, Sanchez is always on it, man. We got to, hold on. We got to hit the golf clap. That is exactly what we're going to talk about. I could tell you my version of what's going on with Dell. However, I'm gonna also look it up utilizing AI. But I'm gonna tell you right now, there are two stocks or two companies that the president of the United States said the United States was going to invest more into. One was Intel. We've seen what Intel did. Yep, chat's already on it. They're already on it. And the other was Dell. And so if the president says the government is going to invest in it, it's probably a safe investment. And if you get in, just pray it's not a Saturday or Sunday. If they say it during the week, open your Robinhood app. And if you have the funds available, it might be a good idea to invest in it. I'm not saying to do it. I'm just saying it. He said it twice about something, and twice that something went through the roof. Look, folks, this right here doesn't happen. This does not happen normally. This is 39% in a week. That's something going up in the air not with a little balloon with helium. That's like 10% in a week. This is rocket fuel. This is rocket fuel. $119 in a week. Okay, so why invest is saying they went up due to AI servers. Do you care to expound on that one? While I go ahead and Gemini this. But I saw Wall Street Trapper. If you don't know who he is, he has a financial channel as well. And there he said very simply, hold on. I can't multitask right now. Hold on. Price explode upwards. I'm putting it how I put it. But he said simply, listen, whether you like him or not, if the president says they're going to invest in, no, he said invest in what the president of the United States is investing in, because he's not going to invest to lose. And that's whomever it is. That could have been in 92. It could have been in 2000. It could have been in 04. He's saying invest in what the president of the United States is investing in. And in these two cases, it has not fallen short. Now let's get to the chat. You said Intel, they need to get away from crappy HPs and their cheap PCs. Who is this, Intel? Or are you talking about Dell? Remember, we got two theys. Oh, the government. They need to get away from crappy HPs and their cheap PCs. Okay. All right, we talked about this one already. I've seen a lot of equipment change to Dell on base. That's right. He does work where I work. A lot of new computer monitors. So they've landed a big government contract. And see, I'm going to tell y'all something. That is actually an astute observation, sir. You get two of those. Put the camera on me. So, yes, we are seeing a big change up. The government is investing in both Intel and Dell. And honestly, if you really want to know, in my opinion, well, I don't even think it's opinion. That's probably half or a good. A lot of the reason why Alex Karp and dang, what's that company? Alex Karp. Palantir. Alex Karp and Palantir has done so well. We'll look at them as well, but they have a lot of government contracts. And I'm going to tell you, if the government is going to invest in you, you're going to do well, because what do we know about the government and its spending? First of all, okay, I'm still active duty here. It ain't the best. I'll say that. And the government's credit card has no limit. In fact, if you swipe it, the limit increases as well, apparently. And we know that because the national debt keeps increasing every couple years. Is increasing. It may come down due to cutting funding to something or not sending money internationally or something like that, and then it goes back up. So the government, that credit card, it can be swiped and the limit just changes. If only our credit cards work that way. It would be a disaster. Do not wish for that. You don't want to keep spending and spending. You need to pay off balances and leave them at zero, or utilize it if it's a rewards card to get the points and then pay it off at the end of the month. Anywho, so for Dell, if y'all have any more on Dell, since we're on that one, let's throw that in the chat, and then I'll move to Intel after that, since we already mentioned them. So I have Dell Technologies exploded upwards by roughly 33% in a day. We see what it is, 39 over the past week, following the release of its fiscal year 27 quarter one earnings call. And that was actually the news I saw. After the earnings call, it exploded upwards. Okay, so Wall Street described the quarter as historic and one of the most impressive hardware reports in years. Okay, So the massive surge had several key factors. AI server demand. So I'm going to tell y'all right now, look at, if you want the new tech, the new, I guess, age old would be tech company surge. The new tech company surge, like last year, was AI and quantum computing, right? Now, this year, it's still AI, it's quantum computing, but add servers and data. What do you call them? Data. What do you call them? Data hubs. What are they called? Companies are investing in them. Come on, chat, help me out. They're the hubs where they have all the servers, data centers. Invest in servers, data centers, and memory. Add those three. I'm gonna write that down. So it is AI, quantum computing. What did I say next? It was memory, servers, and data centers. If you look at, actually, there's another one I'm gonna put here in market movers, and that is gonna be Micron. Micron, and y'all can't. I'm saying it like y'all can see the list of market movers that I have down here. You cannot. There's Micron, and I also want to look at SanDisk. SanDisk, you might have heard of it because they make the hard drives, external hard drives, and the little yeah, it did take it out of me. Hey, look, man, somebody shut this guy down, man. This guy's going nuts. What did he say? That took it out of you, huh? Yeah, if it all goes well, I'm changing jobs from casino to a data center job this week coming. If I could find a thumbs down, I'd give it to you. You ain't even helped me out when I was struggling over here trying to remember. I ain't put no fire. Is that me? Take that off. I'm just kidding. I'm up here struggling and this guy knows. This guy's in IT, by the way. He's an information systems technician. That is him, an IST, if you will, and you will. And he didn't help me out. See me over here struggling. But anyway, let me give those 5 again. AI, quantum computing, memory, servers, and data centers. Data centers. Yeah. Look, you see the chat? SanDisk went to a new galaxy this year. Look, man, I'm telling y'all, and look for those 5 sectors. Now, they're all tech. They're all in the tech industry, but they're niche. AI is different than quantum computing. Quantum computer is different than memory. Servers are different than, well, data centers have servers. So those two are kind of married. But the rest of it, it's different, right? It's different. Write them somewhere you can see. Just type them in the chat. AI, quantum computing, memory, servers, and data centers. But yes, so we're gonna look at Micron and SanDisk for sure. Now let's get through Dell. I was just saying servers and whatnot, right? So they're talking about the core of Dell's explosion was its AI optimized server line, which houses an NVIDIA H200 and Blackwell GPU cluster, or Blackwell GPU clusters, game processing units, right? So that's another thing, right? Open up, don't do this. Don't do this if you're not tech savvy. This guy in the chat with the red chocobo from Final Fantasy, Mr. Ramzabov, right below my picture. This guy right here is an IT. So anybody in Discord, if you want to know anything technical, hit him up. Thank you, Sanchez. You know, heaven sent. Heaven sent. That's what look. Fire, 100, explosion. You get them all. And let's put the soundboard on you. There we go. Thank you. Anyway, So this guy is very tech savvy. This actually my actual brother too. I might have said that in a couple videos, but if you open up your big CPU, that it says Dell or Intel. I actually have a Dell. I ordered this Dell through their website in 2021, probably July timeframe, and I picked the i9. I picked the components I wanted in it, and it's still running strong in 2026. But if you open it up, you have a CPU that is your, now here we go, Ramza. Don't sit here and let me struggle. Your processor. You have your processor, you have so computer processing unit, CPU, you have TPUs, GPUs, and there's another one too, but look at companies that specialize in those kind of things. Semiconductors, motherboards. Look at the components inside of the computer. And remember, you have to change your thinking. Maybe it's not remember, but think about it like this. They churn out computers all the time. Laptops, desktops. Where's my flat screen TV? Flat screen TVs that, fit in your pocket, that are really supercomputers and have the capability of making phone calls. They have all those components in them too. It's just built for phones, right? Remember, tablets as well. They all have those computer components in them. That's what they are. They're computers. Even this, it's a computer. So he just put it up here, right, in the chat. Let me open this up. Now, this one I will give a fire for because he didn't let me struggle. So CPUs, GPUs, TPUs, memories, motherboards. So I'm going to tell you right now, look at all those components in your computer. A company makes those. What companies are specialize in those, and what companies are going to different galaxies because of it, right? And SanDisk, like he said, went to a different galaxy. SanDisk is in the memory sector, right? There's another one I want to add to here, and I just forgot what it was. So when it comes back, I just got excited all at once because we're talking about all this stuff, and I totally forgot. Semiconductors, TSM. I want to talk about them too. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, AMD was on a tear recently as well. So as you see, we have a lot of market movers to talk about. Do me a favor, chat, help a brother out. Help a Smith out. Somebody look up Micron's movement and see what it was due to so we can speed the show along. Somebody hit SanDisk. Somebody hit TSM. Somebody hit AMD. And I will get to Intel because that's the next one I'm going to cover. I also have on the docket Microsoft, Hood, SoFi, and Palantir. We might not get to them all, or market movers might just be the largest portion of the show. And here's the thing, I will tell you, one of my mentees, SanDisk is up there. Yes, SanDisk is up there. That's why I wanted to add them. You can probably expect, because SanDisk is so high, they're probably going to announce a 10-for-1 stock split soon. And with as high as they are, they might say a 20-for-1. But expect maybe a 10-for-1 stock split coming soon. Usually when companies hit about that 1,000 mark, between 1,000 and 1,200, they usually go ahead and announce a 10-for-1 stock split. I remember Tesla did it a couple years ago. Last year, NVIDIA did it. Who else did it recently? In the last few years, Supermicro did it. But either way, I had a mentee hit me up yesterday. I was at work and he hit me up and he was telling me that he had followed the advice I've been giving him since, when did he become my mentee? Probably sometime in 2022. Yeah, when we were deployed. I started talking to him sometime in 2022. He's from the Bronx, Puerto Rican. And I didn't know him from Adam, but I knew he worked in the division next door to me. So I just talked to him one day. I was like, hey man, what's your name? I see you around all the time. And I just started talking to him. So he hit me up and said he's been following my advice since I've been gone from the ship in 2024. And he was like just telling me all the good stuff he's got going on. He's been in Robinhood investing again. He's been using Acorns. He said he has been seeing the vision on AI and tech that I've had and I've been telling him. And so he just gave me a an update and I thought that was awesome. Y'all don't know how great it feels to hear that he's been following the advice and he's been winning. So he said he looked back on our conversation about Nvidia and QQQ and he started investing in them. He invested in VOO and VTI, which is Vanguard's version of one of them is a version of their of like QQQ because it's tech heavy, and the other one is their Vanguard's version of the SPY, the S&P 500. He's saying he's got interest in tech and open AI. And so I told him about RVI. He said he's been in SCHG, SCHD, SMH. So he's in some good companies. And the point of this is what I told him after that. I said, listen, man, what you want to do. What up, ADAP? I saw you just called me. But yeah, I'm live. What's going on, Cyril? I know who that is too. He works with me as well. Glad to see you here on this most auspicious of Saturdays. So what I told my mentee, I said to him, look, you have enough good companies, right? And one thing I noticed that people do is they spread their wealth too thin. Hey, thank you, Winevest. I appreciate that. They spread their wealth way too thin. So I noticed what they will have is they will have 15 shares of Robinhood. They will have 10 shares of SMH. They'll have 2 shares of AMD. They'll have half a share of SanDisk, and 2 shares of Micron. And let me explain that that's both good and bad. Why? Okay. Let's say you have 15 shares of Robinhood and it moves up $1. That's $15. Can y'all see what I'm looking at? You can. Okay, good. Always have to check. Camera back on me. All right. So now I think I have about 375 of Robinhood. It's like 0.98. So let's just say 376. All right. Let's say Robinhood moves up $1, which it did. It moved up about $8 or $9 in one day the other day. But let's just use $1, right? If it moves up $1, look at what I made versus $15. So the word of the week, the word of the year, I gave the investing tip of the year, which is dollar cost into the best companies always, but save what was it? Y'all got it. What was it? It was save a stash for the crash. Invest dollar cost always into the best companies, but save a stash for the crash. So if it crashes down 30, 40, 50%, that's where you dump $2 grand, $5 grand, 10 grand. That's where you get in if it's the best companies. And you've got to know if the company's talking about bankruptcy, don't save a stash for that crash. That's an actual crash, and they might be out of here like Hertz a couple years back. And I lost like $700, but I learned. All right, so I told him that hype. Now, here is one of the investing tips of the year, right? Excuse me, I'm not AI. I sneeze. Hyper concentrate, people. Hyper concentrate. Ian from Earn Your Leisure, Ian Dunlap, the master investor, he says his strategy is 2 tech, 2 index. So, for instance, NVIDIA, and let's go fintech, Robinhood, and 2 index. So S&P 500 or VOO. Let's say VTI, and what's another index? Those are ETFs. So S&P 500 and RVI, 2 index, 2 tech, 2 index, right? That's his strategy. And hyper concentrate into 4 companies. That's it. Or 4 stocks, because technically the S&P 500 is 500 companies. VTI, I said RVI. RVI right now is like 8 to 12 companies. And then 2 tech over here. So you get what I'm saying. 4 different shares or 4 different stocks, but a myriad of companies. And you hyper concentrate into that. Do not have a portfolio of 72 companies. They could all be great companies, but you're not going to get the best return from those. I'd say pick 10 or less and get to 1,000. I got to 1,000 in Soundhound, Orchid Island Capital, and now I'm looking, RVI will be my next because it's lower than Robinhood, and I think it's going to explode more than Robinhood because of what it is. It's an index fund. So I will take less risk investing in that one as an index fund versus investing in Robinhood, which is just one company. All right. Anyway, let's get back to Dell. I know I went way off topic. We're just going to talk about it. The server demand, we know server demand is up. That's why data centers is up. Yes, they are. RVI is coming down to a better price. Thank you, Lord. Yes, I don't know. Lord have mercy is what I usually do. I don't know. But AI server demand, number 2, huge beat and raise financials. I heard their revenue was nuts, and it is. Look, 43.8 billion, 88% year over year increase. You can't beat that with a stick, a broom. You can't run it over with a car. Broaden non-AI recovery. Now, I don't understand what they're talking about here. While artificial intelligence grab headlines, Dell's traditional business segments, oh, they're saying they didn't just do it through AI. They're recovering through innovation, PC sales and stuff like that. Those PC sales are probably coming from their government contracts. So that's why Dell has blown up. I probably should do micro chapters in here. So what I'll do is at this juncture, I'll put Intel and we'll talk about Intel, but I added a lot of other asides in there. So I'm going to try and stay right on Intel. INTC, Intel, over the past week have come down almost 6%, but over the past month, 24, almost 25. And we have already talked about, look, 3 months. Oh, Lord, if I'd have only, And see, listen, I didn't pull the trigger on Intel. I was trying to hyper concentrate into other things. So, you can't, this isn't Pokemon and you're not trying to catch them all. You don't want 150 companies in your portfolio. Yes, I am a nerd for those of you that caught that reference. At least 150 or more to see, but not in the portfolio of thee. Don't do that. Do not do that. So Intel has really blown up, and we've already talked about why. We've talked about the government contracts. They also have gotten heavily into AI and data centers and stuff like that too. I think they're doing TPUs or HPUs or something like that as well. So let's move on. All right, what company are we doing next, folks? Intel will come down to a better price also. What's your price point for Intel while I look for another company? Sanchez, since you posted that, let's look at SanDisk. We have to look at SanDisk. I had to make sure we get to SanDisk. And let me do a micro chapter here. SanDisk. Y'all bear with me. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me every Saturday. This is actually a good turnout. I appreciate that. Oh, SanDisk probably doesn't have a break in it. It doesn't. All right. SanDisk, Lord have mercy. Now, if you're looking at SanDisk and you're like, there's no way I'm spending that much on one share, amen. Lord have mercy. Okay, I got to talk about this. I know I said I was going to stay on topic. So we went to a graduation last Friday, and it was my son's girlfriend's. She graduated from a Catholic school. What's it called? Mater Day High School in Chula Vista. And so I always do this thing, but I'm not Catholic, I'm Christian. And so I know the Catholics do that a lot. And my wife is always like, she grew up Catholic and then she converted to Christianity, maybe as like a teenager, because she said it was just a bunch of religious kind of traditions, stuff that they say or do, and no one can tell you why. And they weren't teaching. It was just a whole lot of, and I'm not, that's neither here nor there. I'm just telling you why she said it, right? Those are her reasons. So then they at the graduation, they did like a whole mass with embedded within the graduation, and the priest did some stuff I ain't never seen before. He was like 1, 2, 3, 4 up here on his forehead. Then he came down to like his mouth, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then he like did the whole head, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then he did the torso. He was like 1, 2, 3, 4. Then he did the whole thing, and I was like, all right, I'm out. She looked at me and she just smiled and said, "Now you should do it." I'm like, no. SanDisk, SanDisk. Look, $53 is only 3%. But that's a big jump for this, right? In the past week, SanDisk did 14%, $217. So even if you had have gotten in a week ago, you'd be up a lot, 14%. The past month, oh my God, almost $600. Oh, yeah, you're right. They went to a new galaxy. I love how you said that. That was slick. But look at this. In 3 months, it went up over $1,000, 172%. So Earn Your Leisure, the reason I bring these guys up is because Earn Your Leisure brought them up. And they've had calls on SanDisk. They've been talking about SanDisk probably for the past like 2 years. I've heard them talk about SanDisk. And I never really looked it up. But last year, they started talking about it heavily. But look, just since January, 589%. This company was only 250, 40 something dollars January 1st. I want y'all to wrap your minds around that. So that is how fast the stock market, companies, society, that's how fast the world is moving around you. That is how quickly you can be left behind if you don't pay attention. It's half the year is almost gone, right? We've done 5 months of the year tomorrow, right? In less than 6 months, we have all been left behind, outpaced by 589% growth. Wouldn't you like to at least had 2 shares in this? Just 2, you'd be up $2,800. It's crazy. And that's why you have to pay attention. That's why this show is important. That's why I usually post Earn Your Leisure show in the chat. It's not about me being bigger than them. It's about us doing something to help people out, because the common man and woman, there were 2, so women, we do not know what they know. They, the rich, the wealthy. No one taught us. So we have to learn. That's why this show is so darn important, because if you'd have just got in January and you saved the stash for the crash, let's say you said, oh, SanDisk, I think it's going to go up. Let me put 10 grand into it. You would have, if you knew what 10 grand would have done, multiply 10 grand by 589. You would have borrowed from Nene and them, your sister, your grandma, Mom, Paul, you would have got that 10 grand. Hindsight's 2020 though, because we can see clearly now. So in a year, 4,300%. I think we can wrap it up. We get it. SanDisk. Memory. memory sector, right? This is memory. So the first two, when I said those five that I wrote it down: AI, quantum computing, memory, servers, data centers. Those first two, let's say AI um, and servers. So by proxy or indirectly, data centers. I don't know if they're specifically doing data centers, but servers, right? And those servers have to be in data centers, which means if Intel and Dell are not particular or specifically investing in data centers themselves, they're partnering with somebody who is for their server storage and cooling, right? Right? Remember, data centers. We should have talked about this. We're gonna talk about it right now. Data centers need space, so that's land. Data centers also need buildings, so infrastructure. They also need a lot of energy, right? So, yes, Oracle, and I was gonna talk about them. Thank you. I see the other ones. We'll get there. I was gonna talk about Oracle because of this. Building data centers. They need energy galore. It takes so much energy to run a data center, and they also need cooling. They need cooling. And I don't know if they use refrigerant. Ramza, you might know, but like liquid nitrogen will cool, it'll freeze anything solid. You stick your finger in liquid nitrogen, which I don't suggest you do. Let's say you go like this with your hand in liquid nitrogen and then slap your arm, just fling your arm the way your hand slams on the table, you shatter your hand. It'll freeze your hand that fast. Do not do it. Don't play with it. But it will also cool equipment that runs 24/7. So liquid nitrogen, there's refrigerant or freon in your AC units. And they use freon, I think, for water fountains as well to cool the water in refrigerators as well. But with data centers, I don't know what they use to cool those. So think about it. Let's stop looking at companies, right, as a standalone. SanDisk did not do that all on their own. SanDisk, if you remember, the little square 8 megabytes, whatever they used to make way back when, like 256. Then they started making like 1 gigabyte, 256, 512. The little ones that used to go in the camera, they're like square, right? You used to just push them and it would click like a old Nintendo. It would click when you push it down. They make memory. So those memory things that they're creating goes into cameras, goes into computers, etc., phones, because they also made the micro SD cards that used to go in Androids, right? They didn't do that all by themselves. There's always an economy, if you will, or an economy around that company. So don't just look at SanDisk, look at the economy in who they're investing in or making the products for and who's investing in them. There's always an economy. So what we'll probably do, chat, this is a project for our next week live. If you can contribute to it, please do. So next Saturday, what I want us to do, if we can each, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and there was, I know who else was on, so that'd be 7. If we can each take one company and come next week with the company, what they do, what they create, their let's say top 3 products. Somebody left because they didn't want to do this. I'm just kidding. If we can come with one company of what they do, what product they make, who they invest in, and who invests in them, we can run the gambit on several companies and we can give out some mega information. And we'll focus on that next week because we're gonna move on. Now, who's next? Oh, let's get to the chat. Y'all been posting stuff. Let's see. We read this one, but yes, see, put the camera on me. This is a lot of homework that you have to do. So I'm gonna pull up the chat again, but if you look at Ramza's comment about the computer components inside of that box that is your computer, right? There's a lot of components in there. Who's making those? What are those components? Who's making those components? Who are they making them for? And who is investing in them? Like OpenAI owns ChatGPT because they created it. But Microsoft has a 27% stake in the company, meaning that percentage of shares total of OpenAI is owned by them. They're investing into OpenAI. But OpenAI makes ChatGPT or owns it, right? That's their product. And who's investing in them is Microsoft, right? Who else? Obviously, RVI. They are part of Robinhood's index fund. So there's an example, right? All right. So we're gonna look at this is Rams's comment right here. I'll give this one a heart because he actually did do well, and because Sanchez did it first. All right, what are electronic components? Invest in those. Yes, that's what we're talking about. SanDisk, we talked about that. What made SanDisk go up? We're gonna save this for next week. So if you can copy this and put this in the investment chat, that would be great, good sir. SanDisk is up 3,900%. Oh my God. What's up, my man? Okay, SanDisk. Yep, looking at those charts. MU, man, Micron. Yes. We'll go to Micron next. We will go to Micron next. Dell, Intel, SanDisk, and then Micron. Let's talk about Micron. Many do because they diversity and don't want eggs in one basket. Oh, diversify? Are you talking about splitting up their investment amongst like 88 stocks? It's been a while since I got to the chat, but if that is, you can just put yes or something or make a soundboard. RVI is coming down to a better price and coming into the picture. Yes, they are. Yes, good sir. Intel will come down. Cool. And then your price for Intel. All right. So look, this is why invest price for Intel. Remember, this is just advice. None of us are licensed or accredited. You can't blame us if it doesn't go this way, but he's just looking at indicators and he is a master of his craft. So $80, then gap fill to 69, real support and volume 52 to $45. So there you go. So what he's basically saying then, I believe, is that you can start investing at $80. But it's going to they're expecting it to come down to 69, so you can just start dollar cost averaging, I guess, at $80 is what I mean, start investing. And then when it hits 69, you can increase. So if you do $10 at $80, increase it when it gets to 20, maybe at 69, and then save a stash for the crash right here. That would be the price point. Thank you for that. And then you're saying JPMC. Oh, JP Morgan Chase. Yes. JP Morgan Chase, Amazon. Now, this was the conversation about data centers. Who's building them? JP Morgan Chase. He's saying Amazon. I did know about those, but I was going to talk about Oracle that was creating data centers, and that's all I was really going to say. Many data centers do not. Hot aisle, cold aisle, exhaust blows out the back in one aisle and cool air comes in the front air intake. They're trying to use water and other methods, and people are getting upset over the estimated drain on the planet for water as a result. Well, I will tell you this. Environmentalists might be going nuts, but data centers are coming. They're here, and they're here to stay, right? On the ship, and YInvest could probably talk about this. He can relate to this at least. On the ship, a lot of our equipment, they use chill water. So what they do is they pump seawater that's always cold, always cold. I say it again, always cold. They pump chill water through pipes throughout the ship, and then if equipment needs it, it'll have like a hose going in through the back of the equipment. And I'm guessing it'll fill a reservoir that the equipment is tightly packed around so that the temperature of that chill water gets on the equipment and cools it down. If the equipment needs to run 24/7, they will use chill water or the seawater, right? Because there's an endless supply of that. And that's the same concept. Use chill water to cool stuff, the seawater to cool stuff off. It'd be the same concept as if you created an engine that uses water to propel itself, right? Because you have an endless supply of water when you're out on the sea or you're out on the ocean. It's the same concept of creating um, uh, the sun panels. What's the thing on the roof? I have them on the roof. They absorb sunlight. Those solar panels. Yes, solar panels. Man, it's been a day. I did work out today, and my wife went with me to the gym, and maybe doing legs just took it out of me. But solar panels, yeah. Thank y'all. Thank both of y'all. So solar panels, it's the same thing as creating solar panels. The sun energy was always there. We just never thought about maybe we can collect this and convert this into energy, right? Also, wind. Wind is always there. The windy city. Well, the windy city. Why not create fans that will turn when the wind blows and convert that all to energy, right? Millstones. That's why you saw the big white flags on the things that turn, and you might not have known what it was. Well, they were making sails, right? Basically, like you would do on a boat, sailboat. They were making sails, and when the wind blows, it would turn it, and it would go all the way down through these gears, and it would turn, and it would crush up the wheat into grain, right? So we've had this technology for a very long time. All right, moving on. Which one did I say? I said MU. Let's look at Micron. All right, Micron. If y'all are willing, chat, to take on this project, just please tell me what companies you're going to take and just bring their circular economy. When you say circular economy, if you Google it, it's probably going to come up with NVIDIA, but every company now is starting to follow that model. And I think it was largely started by Microsoft. But if you're going to take a company and bring its circular economy to class next Saturday, because that's what this is. This is class. Please put it in the chat so we can check off and not bring the same one. Now, Micron. Oh my God, over the past week. Micron, 23%. 89 in the past month. Oh my God. 140 since January. And see, right here in January, people would have said Micron was too expensive to get into. What do you think now? 300 something dollars? What do you think now? Almost 6 months later. What do you think now? It's crazy. In 1 year, this was only $104 a year ago. That's crazy. Oh, man, somebody probably would have donated a kidney to get the money to invest in this. Okay, maybe not that far. Health is wealth. But yeah, man. So that's what we're looking at. And Micron, did y'all talk about why Micron was going up? Xavier, I'm going to get to this in a second. As a matter of fact, let me see. Did y'all talk about why MU was going up? Somebody said MU back here. MU. No, we didn't say why. Okay. I don't know why. Let me answer your question while I ask about Micron. So Xavier asked, how do you guys feel about those new trading platforms using AI to trade automated? Ramza, I think you should probably weigh in on this one because you've been talking about doing this, utilizing AI yourself. What do you think about that? Why has Micron's stock price exploded upward? Always ask it like that. I don't know. It answers it. All right, no one's saying nothing in the chat. So let's hear what Micron. Okay, so historic rally skyrocketing roughly 184% year to date, 830% over the past year is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Um, so now it's a 1 trillion market cap company. Now, if y'all didn't know, the first company to do that was Apple. And also last year, Nvidia became the first company to hit the $5 trillion mark. But I think there was another company that got close to 5 trillion or has hit 5 trillion. But look, we used to talk about millionaires. That was the thing. 80s, 90s, early 2000s, or 80s, 90s, you heard millionaire. Early 2000s, you started hearing Deca millionaire, but it didn't really take off that well. Now you're hearing about billionaires, and you're seeing companies hit billions and trillions. So if that's not proof right there that the world's going to keep on turning and burning, I don't know what to tell you. So don't get left behind. Yeah, Ramza, go ahead, mic up. I'll wait for you to read this. I'll wait for you to go ahead and mic up if you want to. All right, I'll start reading this then. He must not be in a place where he can do it right now. And there he goes.
I am now. Hey, so in regards to data centers, not data centers, but as far as the automated trading, I
Yep.
actually made a Python script
Uh-huh.
that looks at the RSI, the MACD, the EMA, and a couple of other things to determine whether something is a buy or a sell
Uh-huh.
or a super buy, like a great buy. The problem we're likely going to run into is if everyone's using automated trading, they start to lose. When they start to lose, they don't like to lose. The house never likes to lose. So they'll then start banning it or making it illegal to have application interface gateways or APIs that you can tie into platforms like Robinhood to do automated trading. There are even platforms that have automating trading already built into them, native. So, like,
But for right
Robinhood
now, it's
isn't
not
matching
illegal
that.
though, right?
As far as I'm, no,
There
because
you
then they
go.
wouldn't be able to do it.
So right
But as
now,
soon as yeah.
go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
So yeah, I mean, as soon as that starts happening, you also have to look at it when it becomes popular to do. If everybody's got the same kind of signals on their trades, people are going to start losing, and it's going to be based off your connection speed and how fast your AI executes those trades. And then they're probably going to start introducing trade priority, where if you pay a higher fee, your trades will execute with the fastest of AI and data center servers and execute faster than everybody else's.
That's good.
And
That's
that's when you're
actually
going to
good.
start getting into issues. Yeah,
Dang, I didn't think
that's
about
all I
that.
got.
Oh, one more thing about it just he talked about that and I don't know why. Something he said just made me think about this. One idea I had, right? If you look in my office, my forge, if you will, I have a lot of negative space and I like it like this. I don't like a lot of clutter. Neither does my wife, right? Well, one thing I was thinking about, I was like, man, if I really wanted to, I have space for servers and stuff like that, right? Even in my garage, I have a 3-car garage, and one of the it's a 2-car door over here. The big doors over here, the little doors over there, and the last owner of the house took the garage door opener off and locked it. He just slid the bolts in so it stays shut. What if I cleaned out that whole side of my garage and I had servers? So, one thing I saw an article on, I don't know if I posted it in the investing chat, was that companies need these servers so bad until they're willing to pay people to utilize a portion of their house to house servers. Imagine that, right? Imagine if you housed a rack of servers that's like 10 servers or something. I don't know, Curtis, what's a rack of servers usually look like? Like what's how many servers in a rack? And I know it's going to depend, but just the usual.
It Yeah, yeah. I mean, if I had to estimate, I'd say about 24,
Oof.
23, 24 servers, and then you typically have a switch at the top. Yeah, you have a switch, two switches at the top, two to three, and that way you can run your network. If one link goes down, the next switch takes over, or the next port on that switch. So they typically run a lot of redundancy to keep your connections up.
How how much space does a rack of servers take up? Like, is it like 10 feet high and like 12 feet wide? Like, what are we talking?
Yeah, yeah, you're looking like a pretty tall cabinet, like like a tools cabinet. It's pretty tall, but it's typically they're starting to do what they call roll-in racks now, which means they come pre-configured from the vendor, and all you're doing is cabling up the spot to run your connections to the data center to patch it in. But I'd say anywhere from 10 to like 12 feet tall and about as wide as you can spread your arms open to kind of bear hug it and then push it.
So if they made them
So
for
like a
people's
rolling cabinet.
houses, they would probably have to reconfigure those racks to like the average house.
I mean, they'd fit in your garage. They'd fit in a decent basement,
I mean,
as
yeah,
long as it's not
I hear you.
like a crawl space kind of basement.
Yes. So I know what. Yeah. What? Okay. That's where I was going with it. Funny enough, we really think alike. But what I was gonna say though, you said 12 feet tall. So some people's ceilings might not be 12 feet tall. They might be 10 feet. So for the average house, if you configure them to 4 or 5 feet tall and just make a bunch of them sideways, um, you could just and they might be able to fit like 10 server racks in a house, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, utilization by not going vertical, going horizontal,
Right. So, that being
or
said,
other way around.
how much, so that obviously would increase somebody's energy costs. But if the company pays them, what would it, I mean, people probably aren't like thinking like this, but what if they would pay you $500 a month just to have these servers in your house? And I mean, I would say yes. Give me that 6,000 a year just to wake up, eat and sleep in my house, and you run servers out of here. However, the increased energy costs, y'all are also taking care of those. And if they did that, you got it. So that'd be
Yeah,
another way
it'd be
people
a
can
nice
make passive
side hustle.
income, right?
Hmm. You
There
would
you
also
go.
have to allow access for technicians to come into the house and do repairs
Yeah.
unless you're an authorized technician.
So I thought
Yep.
about that too, and I'm glad you mentioned that because unless they're like yourself and they're skilled, they have certs in servers or they have experience in servers, yeah, you're gonna have and will be on call when they need you to troubleshoot or something like that. Yeah, you're gonna have to put it in a space where the technicians can get in or be allowed access within a couple of hours or something like that, I'm sure. So a garage would
Well, hey,
probably be good. Go ahead.
don't let them partner with modulars. I mean, Tesla did a little bit, a small project. Don't let them start partnering with modulars and having the places built with the acceptance that this community is higher scale on power to support data centers, because then they're going to run the cabling infrastructure ahead of time to support it, and that'll be part of the agreement for having the
If
homes.
you
But
buy
let
it,
them get
yeah.
started.
Yep. And that's I'm glad you actually said that too. Cause look, see, folks, this is not like an apple where there's just skin and then the meat. Like this is an onion where there's just 18 layers deep. And this can keep Sanchez, can you stop this guy? So with this I'm telling you, there's so many levels to this. Like what he just talked about. So what he talked about with the infrastructure, if they build it like that in the first place, that's the same thing as if you have a new builds in your neighborhood and they come with fiber optics. And the price of the construction. Now, remember, fiber optics, they have to dig into the ground, put the cables underneath the ground, and run them to each house. That way, each house, if you pay for 1,000 megabytes per second, 3 gigs per second. I don't know what internet speed. I think 1,000 megabytes per second is a thing, right? You actually get your 1,000 megabytes per second to your house, and it might be split between devices, but typically when people pay for Wi-Fi and they pay for 1,000 megabytes per second, typically it's a shared connection amongst all the houses in that neighborhood. So you'll see these little green like boxes in your neighborhood just off to the side in the grass. That's your internet connection. So 1,000 megabytes per second will go to those little green boxes and then get shared out to 17 different houses. So yes, unless you connect via Ethernet. Yes, you are correct. And my Ethernet connection is over there. I have one in my master bedroom, and I guess I could put a splitter on there and split to devices. See, my computer's on Wi-Fi. It's not on Ethernet, but if it ever got that bad, I would run a 200-foot cable. Well, I wouldn't have to because it's just right there underneath the TV. But I have a few throughout the house. Most people do. They just don't know where they are because the only thing that used to use them was your phone and thus your internet, and people they got cell phones. But anyway, so those little green boxes sitting in your neighborhood, I've got one off on the side of the grass right there. That's the shared connection for internet in your neighborhood. But see, when you buy the new builds and they have fiber optics, they just put the price of building, constructing the fiber optics into the price of the home. So you're paying for it already. So that's what he's talking about. They're going to get to the point where they'll probably just build it with it. Yes. Thank you. Can you get what name again? Oh, you mean Xavier? He said Alienia. I don't know how you say it. Alienia. Just threw 1K to test it out, and it's been up in the past 2 weeks. Go ahead, Xavier.
Yeah, so the app that I've been trying out, app like Finello and Alenia, but Finello is an app that at the same time that they're investing for you, they also want you to take courses at the same time. Alenia, you just throw in your money and they just invest the money for you, and it's automated. So they do the trading for you, and they use AI to do the trading. And Alenia has been up. I only threw in like $1,000. That was like a week ago just to test it out. It's been up for the past 2 weeks. It's been up almost $30 right now. So I'm just asking around just to see how you guys feel about it, because it's pretty easy. Just throw in money and let the computer do the work for you.
Alenia, is this AI or people investing this?
It's according to what they say is AI.
Okay. So, do you know if AI or prop firm like what? I don't know what question you're asking here. Why invest mentioned? Do you,
Hey, remember last week, it might not have been why invest, but he was talking about how he gets paid to manage other people's funds. I had the
yeah,
same
it's him.
question you had.
It's
That's
him.
all.
Are you saying what prop firm he was using?
No, I was asking for the system Xavier just mentioned, if it was a prop firm
Oh,
or truly AI. Like
okay.
that's,
Sorry.
yeah, I had the same question.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm not sure what it is that they're using, but from what I read was AI. I'm not 100% sure if that's exactly what they're using.
Well, it could be someone utilizing AI, right? Think about it. When you open a Robinhood, or any of these portfolios at these investment firms, what are some of the questions they ask you? They ask you how old you are. They ask you what age you want to retire at. They ask you, do you want to go more risky, or do you want to be conservative with your investing, right? They ask you those questions for a reason. So if they've been asking those for years. So if you think about it, if they ever were to automate the management of your or movement of your money, they would just go based off of what you set it to. Like you want to go riskier, and isn't that how IRAs do it, right? They ask you about how you, or they have different funds you can put your money in. Like I'll speak for the TSP, the thrift savings plan. You got C fund, I fund, G fund, all that kind of stuff. G fund is savings, so it's very very easy, right? Why would you get a retirement account just to have a savings? You could do that yourself, right? So they have all these C fund, F fund, I fund, all this kind of stuff. And some of those funds are riskier, but the conservative and safe ones are G funds, but they make no money, right? Or they're on the lower end of what they earn. The riskier is on the higher end of what they earn, but you could also lose, right? So if you just punch in those questions, answer those questions, that's an algorithm right there. That normal people like you and I that are skilled in investing and work at these firms, they just look at that algorithm and it will say, okay, overall, this person said they want to be conservative, but they want to just earn money over time. That's easy. S&P 500, VTI, right? Well, this person wants to be moderate, QQQ, right? It's got more technology, and those companies earn a lot more, right? So, or this person wants to be risky. Now they'll go straight to SanDisk or Micron, and it's one stock, right? But it can fire off and head to a different galaxy, or it might drop through the floor at times as well. So that's risky to invest in one company, right, at a time. It's less risky to do an index fund. You had some more, Xavier?
No. Just
Oh,
figuring out what should I think about.
hey, this is a
That's it.
very smart man talking. This guy right here does a lot. Do not let this guy fool you. He is a humble man, but he does a lot. Um, uh,
I tried to
yeah,
keep track.
okay, whatever. But anyway, look, folks, there's a lot of other companies I do want to get to: TSM, AMD, Microsoft, SoFi, Palantir. I can't get to all of these today because we're already at it like an hour and a half. I do have to end the show because we're supposed to go to the park today, family day, right? So, but just look at that. I have a family. I'm active duty military, and I still make time to share and share alike because sharing is caring. We're gonna have to end the show right here. But if folks in the chat, you can just pick one of these companies and come talking about its circular economy. That would be fantastic for next week's show. And I guess Forrest gonna go cold, and I will see y'all here, same bat time, same back place next Saturday. And the companies that we did not get to, will get to those next week. Coolio. All right. I will see y'all next week. I love y'all, and y'all have a great weekend. Will Reed Sanchez, and see everybody next Saturday. We will see you there. We will see you there. Let's close this before Ramza says something. All right, folks. I will see y'all.